Sexuality is all encompassing, and it's super important because it's how we actually exist within ourselves. And we know that relationships with other humans are necessary for life and for thriving.
It can feel really isolating to have diabetes and to have, specific questions about diabetes that may not feel normal or routine, can feel even more isolating.
Any sort of community where you feel comfortable, I think, is important to be able to open that conversation up. That is one main reason that I have stayed involved with the Diabetes Link. It opened up an opportunity for me to feel less isolated, more comfortable asking questions, and just be okay talking about things that like sex and diabetes in general, and having that support system of people that actually understand and aren't going to look at you crazy whenever you say something about your insulin pump.
Talking to my friends that have diabetes about sex, it was more of like it was a revolution, if you will, because I was like, oh my God, you experience these awkward situations too?
Find a place that is super pertinent for you, where other people will have some of those like experiences. This could be a meetup group, it can be a virtual space, it can be somebody who meets up in person, figuring out what's going to be best for your needs, but making sure that you're not in isolation as the only young person that you know that's a diabetic, and making sure that you can find other folks to echo voices and experiences.
Your diabetes educator is a really good person to talk to about it.
Tell your doctor if you're experiencing problems with sex, because they may not have all of the answers, but they can definitely provide some advice.
Doctors are not there to judge. They've heard it all.
No question is stupid, because that's kind of how I always leave my questions. And I'm trying to be better at that, where I'm like, this might be a stupid question, but there's no stupid questions.
So sexuality educators can be a conduit to getting the best sex life that you want for yourself. Maybe you have diabetes and you want to figure out what kink is going to work for you the best, right? And what tools you can use and what things you might be able to heal from a little bit easier. We can talk about that and what that means for you and explore those and give you other recommendations.
As providers, what we can do is just ask more regularly about this stuff, kind of include it in our normal history taking, like, are you having any lows? What about really high numbers? Or any issues with sex? Just like, a regular question. Patients also have become more comfortable asking questions about these topics that sort of historically have felt more taboo.
I always tell people, don't scuba deep dive into sharing secrets and vulnerabilities. We need to start at a more surface level, snorkel, if you will.
Take a deep breath and think about, this is going to help me. I have to get out of my comfort zone to grow. And ultimately, every other growth experience, or pretty much any experience in your life that is memorable and helps you learn, you had to get out of your comfort zone at least for 5 minutes, and you learned something. And you kept doing that. And this is just another one of those, take it baby steps, one question at a time, and don't feel like you need all the answers at one time.
And I think that having diabetes just helps you discover yourself more. So don't be afraid to learn about different things outside of diabetes, learn about things with diabetes, embrace the awkwardness, because if you embrace it, it'll make the other awkward situations a lot easier to tackle.